All right, guys, we are back, and we are going to jump right back into the Olympics and give you an injury update. And we're also going to talk about the NHL 3 stars of the last week before the Olympic break. Who were the NHL's 3 stars before we go any further into the Olympics?
The first star for last week was Carey Price. He posted a 1.00 goals against average. Also shut out the Calgary Flames in the first game that they played last week. And also had victories over the Canucks where he had 31 saves. And the Carolina Hurricanes. So great week for Carey Price last week heading into the Olympics.
Who was number 2?
Kari Lehtinen for the Dallas Stars. Sort of goalies obviously having a lot of good weeks last week.
And number 1.
The
number 3,
third star, wrong order, was Jarome Iginla for the Bruins, who were on fire last week. I know sort of Pens fans aren't looking too far ahead, but that 1-2 matchup in the final is probably going to be sort of Iggy coming back. And that was the top 3 stars last week.
And the last of the 3 stars for the next 2 weeks for the Olympic break. And speaking of the Olympics, we're going to give a little bit of an injury update because the men have not started. The men haven't started playing right yet. That's Thursday.
Yeah, they started late. Yeah, I don't know.
Men start late. So we have a little bit of an injury update for who did not make the trip to Sochi. And we have a couple notable names. Obviously, Steve Stamkos, not ready to go. He was trying as hard as he could with his broken leg that he sustained. He was trying really hard to make it. In the end, it was a doctor decision. He wasn't ready to go. And his teammate Marty St. Louis was named to Team Canada to take Stamkos' place. What do you guys think about that?
Well, you have a 2-time sort of NHL sort of goal scoring champion being replaced by the points leader from last year. So as far as Team Canada is concerned, obviously you're losing Stamkos, who's a great player, but St. Louis is a great replacement, and that Canadian team is just so deep that they could lose half their squad and they'd still look amazing.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of talking before it was announced that Stamkos was not officially making the trip to Sochi, that a lot of people were very upset that St. Louis didn't initially get invited to be on Team Canada. So I think the fact that, he did replace his teammate, which again, it's kind of cool that, he's not just replacing another Canadian hockey player, it is his teammate. So the fact that he is going to play in the Olympics, I mean, I think there's a lot of happy fans, happy Tampa fans especially, that are gonna be excited to watch him compete. But I completely agree with you. The Canadian team has so much depth. I mean, like you said, they could have half the lineup out and they would still do. I think they would do just fine in the Olympics.
Another notable injury is Henrik Sedin. He is not making the trip to Sochi with his brother, and I know I'm keeping my eye on Team Sweden because I personally am a big Henrik Lundqvist fan. But what do you guys think about Sedin? Are they going to be as good without him, without both Sedin brothers on the team?
I don't know. I mean, again, you go back to the depth and everything. It's, the Sedin brothers, obviously, they play well together, and, they've been playing together for a while. But I think it'll be interesting to see how they do without each other on the ice. Are they, I mean, like I said earlier, it's an all-star squad. So, they're going to be playing with other very talented hockey players in there. So I'm going to be interested to see how the dynamic changes when both of them are not on the ice.
And they still have Backstrom and Zetterberg too at center, which they'll probably move one of those guys. They'll probably move both of them up. But not having Sedin there definitely takes away some depth at center. But I'm sure they'll match up favorably. The one team which I'm concerned about, as far as injuries is concerned, is the Finns. The Finns lost quite a few guys to injury in the last couple of weeks. Last Friday was announced that Koivu, with ankle surgery, wasn't going to make the trip. And this is after the Tampa Bay Lightning center, Filppula, is going to miss with a non-displaced ankle fracture. So the Finns there looking like they're going to struggle. It's probably going to be a big Olympics for Tuukka Rask if the Finns are going to get deep into the Olympics.
I'm actually a big Tuukka Rask fan. I think he's very good. So, I think maybe... I mean, yeah, I know he's...
Through and through.
I mean, I know he's a goaltender, and, when you look at the other players, they're not necessarily between the pipes. But, I mean, I think this is going to be a great chance for him to stand out, as a player on an all-star team.
Gold medal prediction from both of you, and who's going to be the upset of the tournament?
Ooh.
Upset? I don't know if I can. I'm going to have to see a few games before I can predict an upset. But gold medal, I think Canada's looking pretty good for me right now. We're talking about the depth. Their team is just always so strong. I don't know if they can be beaten. Russia, no one's really talking about Russia, home team, being a gold medal contender. I believe with what they're going through now, they have a lot of good players. They're at home. They have a lot more of a drive than they normally do playing on home ice, I guess, like homeland ice. I think they're going to medal. I don't know if it's going to be the gold medal. I'm looking at Russia, maybe bronze. Canada gold. I have to see some games. I'm ready for some Olympic hockey.
I would love to see a USA Canada upset. Almost kind of like, reverse, like turn the tables from how it ended 4 years ago. I mean, will that happen? I don't know. Like, I agree with you. I'm going to have to watch a couple games first, but I mean, as much as I want to root for my American team, and I will root for my American team, I think I got to go with Canada for the gold.
Unfortunately, Australia didn't make it out of the qualifying stages. I think we lost to Namibia or something.
And Germany doesn't have a team either.
But I think the Slovaks, I know they lost Gaborik the other day, but sort of being a Boston fan, I like Chara, and I think Chara and Hossa, I feel like they could sort of hopefully get some good games together and maybe get the bronze medal. I don't see them getting the gold. I see Canada playing the USA in the gold medal game. I don't have any predictions, but it's going to be a good Olympics. And
do you see an upset with USA and Canada?
I don't see it being a very good game. The worst would be if it was a complete blowout. Sort of, I know we're not going to have a women's over Switzerland result in the final, but like every other hockey fan, I want to see a good game, and I guess I have to root for the USA now, since they're sort of sponsoring me with my visa.
Blowouts are no fun no matter what sport you're watching. There's no fun in watching one team completely dominated over the other. I mean, part of the thrill comes from not knowing who's going to win.
Okay, and we are going to take one last quick break before we go into our final segment. We're going to have Jake with our rant segment coming up. It's called Five for Fighting. And we will be right back.